So there's a device that's been consuming my thoughts since I first saw it. And I'm kind of making this video just to put everything that's kind of rattling around my brain concerning this device out into the ether. And hopefully all of you can kind of help me figure out what the heck is going on with this thing. So you might recall Sony had a showcase back in late May where they showed off a couple new accessories, one of which were new wireless earbuds for the PS5. I don't know why you'd want those. I would assume any pair of earbuds would go well, but I don't know, something drivers, something 3D audio. But anyways, that's not the device that really got to me. It's this Project Q. Sony shows off this handheld device, right? And I'm immediately going, oh my god, a new Sony handheld? It's like the PSP and the Vita? Oh, right on. This is a game changer. A new traditional, handheld device post Nintendo Switch? You kidding me? That's news. But no, that's not what it was. It's a remote play device. It's literally a device that lets you play your PS5 games you have locally installed on your PS5 anywhere in your house where you have Wi-Fi. Now explain to me who asked for this. Now, not only does this contraption look goofy, it looks like it was made by the Hulk. By which I mean it looks like the Hulk ripped a DualSense controller in half, then transformed back into Bruce Banner, and he, wired it to an Apple iPad. This thing is just bizarre looking. And not only that, but who needs this thing? You can just use remote play with your phone. You want to have a Project Q right now? Here's what you do. Get yourself a cell phone clip for your DualSense controller and clip your phone to it. Ta-da! You've got a screen in the middle of your DualSense controller. You quite literally have a smaller version of the Project Q as it's being advertised. I think Sony's lying to me. And I'm just wondering, am I crazy for saying that? I think Sony's lying to us. I do not for a second believe that this device is going to be launched as it's been advertised, or at the very least, it will not stay that way. I can't see it happening. They would be releasing essentially a Sony Wii U controller. Why? I think, me personally, I think this is going to be a cloud gaming device. I don't care what Sony is saying about it's not going to play cloud games. I'm telling you, I truly believe this thing is going to be able to stream PS5 games via the cloud. We already know Sony's done cloud game testing for the PS5. We already know this. And I want you to go online. Go into your search bar right now. Google, DuckDuckGo, I don't care where it is, and search market trends for cloud gaming. Just future market trends for cloud gaming. And I want you to see that graph that goes up between 2020 and 2030. Cloud gaming is going to be bigger and bigger as time goes on. It's not shrinking. If Sony were to get into the cloud gaming space earlier rather than later, that might not be a bad idea. So why wouldn't they go for it if they can? Maybe you say they can't, but if they can't, why are they putting this thing out? It seems like it just feels like a waste of time, R&D, everything in between. Why put this thing out when it's a half step to what it could be? What could Project Q be? I think Project Q could be the third tier of the PS5. You've got your PS5 disc edition, right? You've got the one that has the disc drive. That's $500. You've got your PS5 digital edition, no disc drive, digital only. That's $400. Then you've got your Project Q, or as I would call it, the PS5 Cloud Edition. Think about it. $300. You could maybe $250. That would only be if this thing launched after the PS5 already had a price drop. I don't see that happening anytime soon. We just got past the pandemic. They're finally being able to put PS5s on shelves at a regular rate. So I see no reason to be lowering the price. But I'm just saying, if they were to lower the prices for the PS5 at the same time this thing launched, then $250. But if everything's the way it is now, $500, $400, $300. PS5 Cloud would be this handheld device. Lets you stream PS5 games. It's like having a PS5 in your hands. It is quite literally a cloud version of the PS5 in this handheld thing. $300. That makes it an excellent third-tier option for people who say, I just want to play PS5 games and stuff. I have a really good connection. I only really play it at home, and I'm fine playing it handheld. Let me save $200 and get it this way. Obviously, with cloud gaming, you have your issues with, you never know if your connection's going to be good enough. Well, if you get that out of the way, then everything's peachy. But then you're like, I bought my games, but I don't actually own them. Well, the way you get around that, obviously, is that you just have to buy a traditional PS5 console after the 10 years or something when the service drops. But I'm just saying, PS5 Cloud, think about it, $300 for the cloud version instead of the digital and the traditional disc one for $500. I think that that's a tempting offer. Maybe it's not for me, maybe it's not for you, but I think that there's enough of an audience out there with cloud gaming being on the rise to justify that device. Okay? Maybe I've sold you on it, maybe I haven't. Let me tell you one thing, though. At least I sold you on this. How are we going to be sold on a Project Q as it's been advertised, as a remote play device, when you can just buy a phone clip, put it on your DualSense controller, and ta-da, you have a Project Q? Just doesn't make any sense. Sony needs to stay competitive in this industry. We've seen with the FTC, Microsoft, Blizzard, Activision, King merger trial that these two are button heads. It's a very direct, Sony and Microsoft are directly competing with one another. There's no beating around the bush. There's no, well, we're kind of adjacent to, like Nintendo is to the other two. These two are button heads. Sony needs to do whatever it can to maintain its market lead. Because right now, Sony's the market leader. And I think a cloud gaming device would be one way to at least test the waters of where cloud gaming is now, where it can go. A lot of other devices have tried it and have failed, like the Stadia. Like I think Amazon has its Project Luna, right? But those are a little bit different. And none of them have tried a dedicated handheld device for it. So this would be something new, interesting. Sony would finally be on the cutting edge instead of doing what it's historically done, which is just take things from Nintendo, like the Rumble Pack and the analog sticks and everything else. But everyone else copied that too, so it's fine. But I just think this is far more interesting. Now, the only reason I can see Sony not lying about this, and that they're actually going to launch this thing as a remote play device straight up, is because this would not be the first time that Sony launched a overpriced, underperforming peripheral for the PS5, despite there being no reason to do that. It's called the PSVR 2. Thing sold way under their expectations. It costs more than the price of the console itself. And they put this thing out when they had like 7 exclusives for the PS5. And I mean exclusives, not it's on PS4 and PS5. Only on PS5. Okay? We didn't even have Final Fantasy 16 out yet, and that's a timed exclusive. And you're putting a bunch of people to work on stuff like Horizon Call of the Mountain. Seriously? This VR device that's for enthusiasts only? I don't get it. It can't even be used as a PC VR device. So I can see Sony doing this only because they've already put out a device that just makes you scratch your head and go, who asked for this? I'm not saying who's going to buy this, because I know someone will buy any Sony device. If I slap PlayStation on a cheese grater, someone, like an electric cheese grater or something, someone's going to buy it. It's a PlayStation device. My question is, who asked for it? Because the people who buy that cheese grater didn't ask for it. They're just buying it because it's branded PlayStation. Okay? So no one asked for this remote play device. So who they think is going to buy it, I'm not sure. Same thing with the PS2 VR. Who they think we're going to buy it, I'm not sure. Apparently, neither is the consumer base because it's not really there. It's just, now you can see why it consumes me. Because I think this thing is a Trojan horse for cloud gaming. I really do. I think even if Sony launches it as it is, advertised right now, they would update it with cloud gaming capabilities. I mean, after all, it's just a 1080p LCD screen that apparently supports up to 60 FPS gameplay. There's not going to be a whole lot under the hood to begin with. it should be capable of cloud gaming if it is what I think it is under the hood, which is not a whole lot, but it does what it needs to do, stream games, really well. So that's just me. So I guess the question I'm asking is, does Sony think we're stupid? Or does Sony think we think they're stupid enough to launch this thing the way it's been described? I don't think they're stupid. I think Sony makes some goofy mistakes now and again. I think Sony tends to overplay its hand on more than a couple occasions. I don't think they're dumb enough to bring out a device that is dead in the water, like, from the jump. I don't think you'll find anybody who will say, man, this device is going to do excellent right out of the gate. This thing is going to be like, who is this for? And even if you find who it's for, once again, who asked for it? But what do you think? You think this thing is really what Sony's saying, and they're just making this what I think is an unforced error, releasing it as is whenever this thing comes out? Or are you like me? You think this thing is either going to be a PlayStation 5 cloud streaming device, or it's going to be a Trojan horse for it, where it comes out as advertised, but is eventually giving cloud gaming capabilities down the line? Let me know in the comments, because I need someone to tell me I'm not crazy here, okay? I just need one person. One person in the comments tell me I'm not crazy. But thank you so much for listening. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoy this so you can hear me rant about more nonsense that, rattles around in my brain. And I'll talk to you again real soon.